Hey guys, I'm Kent. Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about two things related to the Honda CT70. First is the fact that I got my frame back from paint. This is my 1969 silver tag bike, not the blue one that's the first day of production. This was the one that I picked up just prior to that, that I plan to do a full restoration on for the first time. The bike that you see sitting back here was one that I did in a very restoration-like fashion. It's a great bike. I did a powder coat on the frame though, instead of the actual paint. Looking at these two bikes side by side though, the paint color or the finish color is very similar. The authentic color has a very similar luster to the prismatic Rancher red color that I have there that again looks very good. And honestly, now having paid the cost for this restoration paint, I probably will continue to do powders on anything that I'm not trying to do a full restoration, because the powder coat on that bike cost about $300. The price to have this repainted was quite a bit more. So Mike's MiniTrails does a great job, and they actually reached back to me because there was a couple of holes in the back of the frame where they said that needed to be welded, and one hole drilled a little bit bigger after it was adjusted so that it was authentic. So they know what to look for, and I think more than any other place, even if they could do the candy paint correctly, they don't know the intricacies of the bike like folks that have done as many frames as they have. So I think that's the big benefit in sending it to them. So the cost also included $100 to ship it out, $100 to get it back, and then additionally I had them give me a new Honda headlight bucket which they painted, as well as I ordered new shocks where they painted the rear caps of those so that everything was a very consistent color. In total though, my original order was $1,100, and that included the shipping rate back. I had to pay an additional $150 for the welding work that they did, and then the $100 to ship it out. So in total, I spent $1,350 to get this finish. Now, again, I'm doing this bike as a restoration, so I think taking every step that I can to make it as authentic as possible is important, but a significant difference, almost $1,000 in doing a similar finish with a powder. So again, when you're doing your restoration, you really need to consider what exactly is this bike going to be for, and what does it mean to you? On my 1969 first day production CT70 that I'll be doing in the candy blue, I'll also leverage professional painting because, again, that bike is very special. And I think making it as authentic as possible is critical. So I wanted to briefly show you this frame. Again, the luster in the candy coating is fantastic. I doubt the camera can do it justice, but there's a very deep luster in it. You'll notice this chain guard also has the correct shape for the silver tag bikes. The ones after this had a piece that comes all the way down. This one kind of cuts down a little more. I found most of the parts for the silver tag restoration on this bike, but I'm still hunting for an entirely separate set for the blue CT70 silver tag that I'll start work on once I finish this. So the other big news is that Honda Europe announced the Dax ST-125. So the Dax is what they call the CT70 in Europe, and it's official. I don't think it has a release date yet, but it is actually coming. I'll make these pictures a little bit bigger, but this is what I'll be looking at as I overlay some of these photos. I honestly like the renders a little more than I do this final production bike, assuming this is exactly what the production bike looks like. It looks like it's the original stamped CT70 frame, and then parts from the monkey and the Grom. It looks like it has a Grom rear swing arm and front fender. The handlebars and the speedometer and the headlight brackets all look very much like the 2019 or all of the new Honda monkeys. The rear fender looks more monkey. The wheels look like the same ones that come on the new Grom and the new monkey. And it has the same 125 engine, although a different clutch. It has a centrifugal clutch. So I believe you actually do shifting, but like the original CT70, there's no clutch action. You can see there's no lever on the left handlebar. So that's both interesting and not. I mean, that is staying more true to the actual CT70, but I prefer riding a bike with a clutch. My guess is that companies come out with some type of mod so that you can have a clutch if you'd like. I'm not sure what I'll do, but I am definitely buying ones. I recently canceled my pre-order for the Navi. The shop that I had the pre-order at still hasn't got them, and by now they've been out for a couple months, and honestly, I've really lost interest in it. I've seen a few out on the street, and it really just looks like a goofy scooter. I know Steady Garage and 77 Decals have cool mods and graphics for them, but at this point, I'm glad that I did because I definitely want this bike. I can't wait to do a video where I have my completely restored 1969 Honda CT70 and then a brand new 2022 or 2023 model spanning 50 plus years of time right next to each other. I just think that'll be a really cool thing, and I like having both of those in my garage as well. So excited that the bike actually is coming to fruition. It's not yet guaranteed that it's coming to the United States, but I can't believe that they don't. I know the Dax was just as popular in Europe as it was in the US. I'm also curious what they're going to call the bike here in the US, because the CT125 is what they gave to that other trail bike that came out recently. Honestly, I'd love if they called it the CT70 and just broke away from the fact that the number scheme is usually directly tied to the displacement of the engine, just because CT70 is what everybody knows that bike, and that's what I'm going to keep calling it. Maybe they can call it CT70-125 or put 125 in small print, but I'm hoping they actually call the bike the CT70. And I'm kind of torn on when I get this bike, what do I do with it? Because my natural instinct, like everything in my garage, is to start modding the hell out of it, except for the CT70s, which I've been spending more focus on trying to get back to a restorative, original state. So I'm probably not going to be able to resist modifying it. Maybe I'll have to buy two, one to keep and one to make wild. So again, let me know what you guys think about this bike if you're going to buy one. And again, excited to get this 1969 bike put together here pretty soon. I've got most of the parts. It's just finding the time to get everything assembled and get this bike on the road. So anyway, thank you everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.